Hello and welcome our viewers to a new episode of your show Flexwell. This is me, Abdul Latif Lanizi. I'm your presenter and I have with me my coach, Coach Jose. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Abdul Latif. Always a pleasure to be around.
Thank you, Coach. So the coach will give us the perfect exercises and workouts that will help us to reach our goal. And now, without any further ado, together, let's get started. Welcome back, our viewers. So now we will start our first exercise, which is the warm-up or the flex exercise. Welcome back, Coach. So, Coach, what do you have for us for the first exercise?
Okay, for today, our main idea is targeting something simple like picking up something from the floor, most commonly known as deadlift. Mainly is targeting the lower body, but never forgetting about the position of the upper body.
Wonderful. So for the first exercise for today, do you have like something of stretches or flexes that you can do helping other people to do the deadlift?
Definitely. We're going to divide it into parts. One, it will be the main exercise. The first one, it will be a mobility warm-up kind of style that you can do for the deadlift. Again, you can do it in the end after to return back to column.
Wonderful. So for the first flex that we are doing, it will help our lower body to get more ready for the deadlift or maybe between parts of the exercise, right? So Coach, for how many sets or how many seconds that we are going to do it, stay in, and what we are going to do it while we are leaning on the ground?
Okay, mainly for the mobility part, we're going to use a time frame scenario that you can do the movement throughout 20-30 seconds, just a different range of motions. For the exercise itself, we're going to keep it with a classic one of 4 sets of 8 reps.
Is this exercise going to help us to stretch our types of muscles?
Definitely. We need to use a full range of motion, and that way at the same time that you work on your strengths or you re-strength your muscles, you're going to be able to work with some flexibility.
Wonderful. This is for the first exercise, which is the stretches or the flexes. And now stay tuned for the main exercise.
Okay guys, we're back again. This time we're gonna target the deadlift. We're gonna go for the first exercise. That's again a warm-up mobility kind of scenario that we're gonna use the sitting position. Now at this moment people are wondering I can't go for the sitting position. Okay, no problem. Normally what happens? People when targeting the sitting position, normally they have compensations that will not allow them to go as deep as possible, maintaining the heels on the floor, and they will do something like this. They will be struggling with the balance. No problem. You're going to use a small height. In this case, I'm going to use 2 plates. You can use a small wooden scale. You put it under your heels. You're going to have your feet even, chest up. You're going to bring yourself down. You can even lay the forearms on top of the knees, and you're going to be more comfortable inside of that. Now, this is the setup. From this point, what you're going to try to do? You're going to try to create some mobility in your hips. Mainly the hip with the femur will start to be more comfortable in this position. Again, if you are struggling with the position of the feet, if there is need for you to point the toes to the outside, again, please do. Try to maintain the chest up and working from there. Another option is you can place one hand down or even going for your ankle. You keep your shoulder locking the leg as much as possible, and you're gonna reach as high as possible a couple of times. That way you're going to feel a stretch in your lower back, and we can progress from there. Okay, again, don't forget to do the other side. You reach for your ankle, a smooth grip. Put your shoulder locking the knee. And on the other side, you're going to try to reach as high as possible. You're going to go for the same amount of reps. Remember, always maintain a smooth pace. No need to rush it. A good image that you can plant in your mind is putting the hand pointing towards the ceiling. Go for a full stretch. Your lower back will thank you. So, again, you can always place a little pressure inside of the legs just to open a little bit more the hip in the lower back region. And also, that way, you're going to progress with that movement.
So this is the end for our first exercise. We are warmed up and ready, so stay tuned for the main exercise. Welcome back, our viewers. So now we are in the main exercise, and welcome back, Coach. So, Coach, for the main or the heavy exercises, what do you have for us?
Now, for today, we're going to have a simple deadlift. It replicates even you picking up something from the floor to a higher level. That can come from a box, even picking up a small child or even a bigger child, but it's picking up something from a lower level to a higher level.
Wonderful. The coach focusing on that because there are a lot of people, while they are going down, picking up something, too many people here, they get injuries in the lower back focusing while they are picking up something. So now we will give you the perfect exercises for these types of situations. So coach, for the first exercise, for the first part of the deadlift, what do you have for us and how many sets and repeats we're going to do it?
Okay, for the first part, let's say the pre-workout phase, we're going to face a simple sitting position that we're going to work with some mobility. We're going to shift our body weight side to side and even create a bigger range of motion with the upper body.
Wonderful. This is for the first part of the deadlift, which is going in low standard or like low level, right?
Yeah, a low plane.
So what about the heavy type of the deadlift, or let's say the heavier level, the professional levels?
Okay, that can be replicated also because it's a matter of perception. You can start with a simple box, and then if you nail the frame that you have to use, then you can replicate that frame throughout bigger weights. That means that from lifting a box from the floor or even a child, then you can set up a bar and go to 200 kilos, 300 kilos. It's all up of a matter of strength, but the frame is the same.
Wonderful. So this is for these exercises, and of course the same thing. We're going to do it for how many sets and repeats?
Okay, for the mobility part, we're going to use a time frame. For the workout itself, we're going to keep it simple and classy. We're going to use 4 sets of 8 reps.
Wonderful. So you heard the coach, he has this training, so stay tuned for our coach to do these exercises.
Okay, guys, we're back. This time for the deadlift. So what you have to have in mind, it ain't a deadlift. You are just picking up from the floor level to put it or to raise it to a higher level. So imagine this small bag that we have here. It ain't too heavy, but for the purpose of the exercise, it will fit the purpose. So you're gonna put your feet wide apart, even with the device. That means that can be a bag or can be a box. Now, you're going to use what we did before with the sitting position, and you're going to reach for the bag keep your chest up, and you're going to drive the movement with your legs. In a while, I'm going to explain better what that is. So you're going to lift your chest, keep your eyes up, and you're going to raise it. Basically, that's a deadlift. Now, smoothly and put it in a different angle. You're going to keep your feet wide apart. You're going to stand tall, lift your chest, drop your shoulders. Don't lock your knees from this point. You're going to extend your arms. You're going to drive yourself down. Using your legs, you grab the bag or box or plate, whatever is available for you. Chest up, and from this point, don't lift it with the back. You're going to lift it with the legs. So you're going to move your hip forward and raise it. Coming down, again, you are seeing handles in the bag that we can use if you have a bag available, and from that point, it will be the same principle. So you can drive those 8 reps that we talked about it. Mainly use your legs to do the movement. You can even touch the floor for this purpose. Keep your shoulder blades together, eyes forward. Again, if you look down, you will have the tendency to go down and leaning forward. Keep your knees aligned with the toes, abs in, and you can drive the movement like that. Keep yourself safe at all times. You can use this frame for a heavier weight. It's the same principle.
Walnuts are an excellent source of copper, a mineral that your body needs to produce enzymes involved in energy production and neurotransmitter synthesis. Walnuts have shown to benefit heart health and may reduce including elevated levels of blood pressure, LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. Walnuts are also significantly higher in ALA, omega-3 fatty acids than any other nut.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, where we continue from where we left off in the last episode. Welcome back, Doctor. Doctor, from the last time we were talking about sitting on the ground, it's healthy. So why do people have the back pain since it's healthy, as you said?
A lot of problems starts with the changes that took place with people. People historically used to sit on the floor and they had no problem. Once there is change that took place with the people physiology, then they started to have pain with the normal activities. Like normal activities, for example, people to bend over and to pick up something. This is normal activity of daily living. Now, there are some people who start to have pain because of bending over. So the problem is not with the task itself, it's with what took place, what kind of changes that took place with that individual that started to have pain. A lot of people, when they sit, they have lost 2 things. They have lost the normal flexibility around the hip joint. That's one thing. Another thing, they have lost the strength of the muscles of the lower back that help them to sit in the upright posture. So we see those people who sit on the floor, they are hanging, slouched forward like that. So they will be overstretching the ligaments of the lower back. That's why they start to have pain. Once they stand up, walk few steps, the pain disappears. We call this pain mechanical pain. Pain that started because of mechanical movement, because of the tension that they placed on the ligaments as they are sitting. With forward sitting posture.
Yes.
If we look at, for example, the spine here, this is the pelvis and this is the spine of the lower back. We're supposed to have the curve like this.
Yeah, so we have to do it while we're sitting.
Yes, this is the normal curvature.
Yes.
There are some people who have developed let's say, shortening of the muscles, especially at the hip as well as the glutes muscles. These muscles will pull the hip posteriorly this way. So now, because of the limited flexibility, they cannot lean backwards, especially because they are not sitting against the wall, for example.
Yeah.
They are sitting on the floor. So when they lean backward, they have to have the spine move forward.
Yes.
Because your body will seek equilibrium. If you move forward, then you have to do something so that you don't fall off. So because they move forward, the spine will be moved this way, so the ligaments here will be overstretched. Because the ligaments cannot sustain continuous stretch more than a minute, 60 seconds, then they will start to deform and have an injury, like they break up. That's why they start to have micro trauma.
Within a minute.
Within a minute. Usually, whenever we do any stretching for the ligaments and the muscles, we sustain the stretching for 20 to 30 seconds. If we want to increase it to 1 minute, that's the maximum, because the ligaments supposed to stabilize the joints, not supposed to be overstretched, because if you overstretch it, no longer it can hold the vertebra together. The strength of the ligaments depend on its length. Once you stretch it beyond its length, you will weaken the ligaments, and then you'll start to have your body screaming, please don't do that. So that's as it is described as pain.
As pain, yeah.
So that's why in sitting on the floor, when we sit on the floor cross-legged, or when our legs, for example, extended, we have to sit in the upright posture. Instead of leaning backward, we have to sit in the upright posture. If we have good flexibility of the hips, then our hips will not fall off backward. So the muscles will be in balance, and we require only small energy expenditure by the muscles to sustain us in the upright posture. But if we lean backward and we don't have the flexibility of the muscles where they throw off the balance of the body backward, then the muscles, to correct itself, it has to spend so much energy, and there is no muscle that can sustain you for hours. If you have any weight, for example, for your biceps to carry a weight, for example, you cannot sustain more than a minute, and then you will fatigue. So it's the same thing of your lower back muscles. So again, the problem is not with the task itself, it's with the way you sit and how things have changed in the length of your ligaments and also your muscles that threw off your balance. So for people to sit on the floor, they can cross-leg and sit in the upright posture. If they do that on a daily basis,
It will help a lot.
it will help a lot, because their muscles will be adapted to that kind of posture. Two, the ligaments will get adapted to this type of sitting, because the flexibility depends on the frequency. Since you do that every day on a daily basis, then you will reach a point where your body will not really spend so much energy to be in the equilibrium state. So you will be in a balanced state. The muscles front and the back will be in balance, and then you will have no pain. So a lot of people, they not sitting on the floor properly, that's why they start to have pain.
Exactly. So, doctor, also for a lot of time we see our elders, our uncles and fathers, they sit leaning on the side. Yeah, and is it good about this posture when they lean on the side? Because we know that I cannot lean forward. I have to be a little bit of curve in my back in the lower a little bit, and have myself on this right posture. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So what about if I lean to this side, like let's say, and they do that, unfortunately, talking, drinking tea for hours and hours. So what happened in my body during this position?
Yes, because people are sitting for a long time. This is the problem of the current century we are living in. This is the to date problem. Our problem today is that we sit for a long time. There is no healthy sitting for hours. Okay?
Even on this position?
Even if you sit in the correct posture, you have to change your position every half an hour.
Every half an hour, like I
half
do
an
a
hour,
walk.
you have to stand up. You have to stand up. Think of it this way. This is the disc. The disc has to be fed with fluid. The fluid will not reach the disc by the, let's say, there is no blood supply to the disc within the disc. It has to be supplied from outward. So since the blood supply the disc with fluids from the outside, how it gets to the inside? It gets to the inside by changing the pressure. If you have positive pressure, you will squeeze the disc and get the fluids out.
Nothing in.
Nothing in. To drive the fluid inside, it has to be negative pressure where it sucks the fluid back again. So now you get the fluid out, you get the fluid in, get the fluid out, get the fluid in. Now you get the used fluid out and get new nutrients inside the disc. This way the disc will be healthy. If you sit for a long time compressing the disc, you no longer is supplying the disc with the necessary nutrients for its life. That's why when there is pain, your body is screaming for its life.
Please stand up.
That's why
Take a walk.
you have to change your position, stand up, so that you change the pressure from positive pressure to negative pressure, where you feed the disc again, as well as not only the disc, also the soft tissue structure, and also it's good for the blood supply for the area. That's why we see lots of people have also some problems. For example, when they go to the bathroom, they cannot push number 2. They have problem with pushing because of the weakness of the pelvic floor muscles. Because of that, they feel having constipation and they cannot push. This is one of their problems. So now the problem is beyond just the lower back. It's now on the pelvic floors. Now it's affecting daily necessity, like going to the bathroom.
Yes.
So now if someone wants to sit on the floor, no problem, but don't sit for a long time, because you cannot maintain the fluidity of the disc, and you have to change your position, because you supply the area with blood by changing contraction of the muscles. If someone is sitting and leaning sideways for hours,
Where we see?
they are deforming the muscles as well as the tissue around the vertebra. For example, when someone sits sideways, they are overstretching the muscles and the soft tissue from this side and squeezing it from the other side. If they sit every day in this fashion, they will develop shortening of muscles and ligaments on this side, where we see them later on having what we call postural scoliosis. Postural scoliosis, which is the deviation of the vertebra or the spine,
Yes,
toward one side of the body, because of the adaptive shortening of the soft tissue and the muscles.
and we see it when they stand, right?
When they stand, or sometimes they will have one side of the hip is being raised, and then they complain of low back pain. And also when they go for someone to screen them, they will say you have one leg is shorter than the other, when in fact there is no shortness of the lower limb. It is the pelvic that have tilted sideways, that have raised the foot from this side, so they think that there is this what we call leg length discrepancy, and then they will ask them to, for example, use the insole so that they can have balanced gait later on, which will not solve the problem. So if someone wants to sit on the floor, no problem, but sit correctly. Change your position every 20 to 30 minutes, move so that you can get blood supply to the muscles, to the disc, as well as to the vital organs. Otherwise, sitting again can be, as we know, it's something healthy, but you can turn it to unhealthy because of the way people use it.
Yes, even with a good posture.
Even with a good posture.
Thank you, doctor, for everything. It was lovely part that we talked us about sitting on the ground or sitting on a chair. All of it, it's healthy and also at the same time unhealthy. You got the information that you wanted in regards of the back pain from Dr. Wael. Dr. Wael, thank you again for everything. Hope you liked it, our dear viewers. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you for the next time, and goodbye for now.